Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
All right, well, I guess this should not be shocking whatsoever, considering we knew at some point we would have a quarterback controversy. We knew when that NFL draft occurred that there would be some sort of internal issues with the quarterback position. That was inevitable. And today, well, today is the day that starts the conversation, and it allows it to intensify by 35 billion after Jalen Hurts steps into the football game and creates the spark that this Eagles offense was looking for. By the way, we are broadcasting live from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. I have been labeled a Carson Wentz apologist, if you will. And I'm not going to deny that I have supported Carson Wentz. And to be clear, I don't think this is who he is forever, but I'm not oblivious. I see that Carson Wentz is flat out not getting the job done. I think that there's a lot of reasons why this team is 3-8-1, and it's not as simple as it's only the quarterback's fault. Okay, I think that there is a lot in play when it comes to the outcome that we see every single damn week. But I watched Jalen Hurts make plays. I watched him throw a beautiful 34-yard pass to Jalen Reagor right down the left sideline. I saw the 4th and 18 throw to Greg Ward, okay? So I saw a lot of plays that Carson Wentz flat out has not been making whatsoever. If you ask me, Brodes, what do you do in this situation? It's so damn simple. It should not even be a question. There should be no debate. Jalen Hurts should start the next football game. It is his job at the moment. Carson Wentz, big contract, can't move on from the contract. I don't care. I don't care. And I don't feel bad at all for the organization. I look at Carson and I hear him speak, and I honestly do feel bad for the guy because just like everybody else, I feel he's questioning, what the hell happened? I was at the top of this league. How did I fall this far? He looks lost. It looks like he puts a lot of pressure on himself. So I truly do feel bad for the guy, but that won't change my opinion on who I feel should be taking the snaps at the moment. When I see Carson Wentz play, he's doing the stare down at the pressure, and that's taking his eyes off the field. He has zero pocket awareness right now. The offensive line isn't giving him a reason to, but I saw Jalen Hurts scramble. Now, it is funny, though, because I hear a lot of people talking about how much better the offensive line looked when Jalen Hurts was playing. He got sacked 3 times. Carson Wentz got sacked 4 times. It looked better because Jalen Hurts does provide a different skill set. He can use his legs. He can run around. And you saw a lot of plays where he did that. Now, why do you think that was? Well, you look around the field and you have players failing to get open, but Carson Wentz doesn't have that type of motor. He can escape the pocket and run at times, but he's not the mobile quarterback that is today's NFL, where you see Jalen Hurts take off, make some plays, and there are a lot of things that add to this context, though. The score was a 20-point game in the fourth quarter. Now, I'm not claiming the only reason why you saw Jalen Hurts have success was because the Green Bay Packers were playing some sort of prevent defense. But I do think that that is something that should be thrown into the mix, that it's a 20-point game in the fourth quarter. The Eagles haven't been able to do a damn thing. That doesn't discredit that throw to Reagor. Hell of a play by him. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts, the throw specifically. But let's look at Jalen Reagor. Wow! That was a great play. I lost a lot of optimism last week watching him fail at the line of scrimmage. Well, guess what? I loved what I saw out of him in this game in that moment, and also the punt return. It showed the explosiveness. Now, there has to be a reason why he jumbled that football and why he's not the one to return all the punts. There seems to be some sort of connection between that. He probably makes a ton of mistakes when it comes to fielding the ball on punts, but he made one hell of a play afterwards, and the big reason why you took him was he had the ability to get that home run play based off of his feet. Maybe it's one foot that's better than the other. I don't know. Maybe it's the left foot that makes everything happen and the right foot's just there. I don't know. But Jalen Reagor clearly was on display. in specific moments. It's how do you be able to get that out of him more? How can you work that into the game plan so you get that more? Because it's there. I saw it. It was great. A touch throw like Hurts gave him is one, no doubt. That's one way to do it. I was going to go somewhere more, though, with Carson Wentz in terms of looking at the line of scrimmage. That is a problem. He is constantly getting attacked and getting hit and getting abused. And the Carson Wentz haters will say, well, that's because he's not throwing the football. He's got to throw it away. There was that one play because Romo was breaking down how Carson Wentz could have maybe moved up in the softer area of the pocket, and he didn't. He took a sack on third down. Well, later on in the game, here's Aaron Rodgers with all this time. He waits for a play to develop. He throws a touchdown pass. And here's Tony Romo. Well, look, he stepped up into that soft area of the pocket that Carson Wentz didn't before. So all the Twitter warriors got their thumbs out. Hey, look what Tony Romo said. Look, Carson Wentz stinks. Guess what? There's a big difference because in those moments, in that spot for Rodgers on that play, he had 5.3 seconds to get that football out of his hands. In the 2 third down sacks that were brought up in this game, 2.2 seconds, 2.4 seconds. That doesn't mean Carson Wentz does not deserve blame. But that is a major problem. And when it happens for 12 weeks, let's say, his eyes are starting to focus on the pressure that's constantly coming his way, and it's taking his eyes off the field in other spots. It shouldn't be that way. I'm not saying that is okay, and I'm allowing for that to happen. That is a problem that has to change. But I do look at the reasons why this is occurring, and that's one of 10,000 reasons why this team is 3-8-1 under their current model. Jalen Hurts getting sacked 3 times in a quarter and a half. It's a little different. If he's been taking a beating for 12 weeks, it's a different conversation. But I'm not trying to defend Carson Wentz. I hate that. I hate how I can't give you reasons why I feel something's happening without being labeled an apologist. There's reasons to him failing, but he's also failing as well. He is missing throws. Now, it's killing me because I thought the first drive, they had a blueprint to succeed. Run the football, Miles Sanders, get Carson Wentz in rhythm, boom, bang, boom. In the second drive, you had that end around with Jalen Reagor where he's getting the ball. Oh, I was like, what's going on here? Who's calling the plays? And that's another question that we have to discuss. Who is calling the plays? At one point, you saw Carson Wentz all fired up and press Taylor's face. Is that because he was the one calling the plays at the time? Well, that was when the offense was having the most success, I will say. Even though he got sacked and he was pissed off, at that moment in the game, that was when they were actually able to move the football to some degree. But who's calling the plays? And apparently, Carson Wentz doesn't even know because after the game, he was asked by the media about how can you tie Jalen Hurts getting into the game with what was happening with Doug Pederson and switching the play calling? And he was confused, as if he had no clue what was going on. So now you're telling me that the quarterback doesn't even know who's actually calling the plays. Don't you see that there is such dysfunction occurring in every single part of this organization, from Jeffrey Lurie to Howie Roseman? How many times did you need to be reminded that Jordan Matthews was picked over Devontae Adams? So you want to go through the list? And I'm not even crushing Jalen Reagor, but it's fair to say Justin Jefferson has been more to this point and has showed a lot of 100-yard performances. DK Metcalf, and now Devontae Adams. So do you see that that's a problem as well? So you got the dysfunction, ownership. Who's forcing these players to play? Alshon. He blows the push off, and then he's smiling, laughing, running back to the huddle, knowing he's robbing this organization dry of money. Come on! I can't believe this guy's still getting snaps. And for Jason Peters to be playing for as long as he did as well, at some point they had to make the change. Apparently he had the toe injury. Well, we knew he was playing banged up anyway, but I doubt it was anything other than he was getting his ass kicked. So here comes Nate Herbig in the mix. Travis Fulgham missed an easy catch by the left sideline. Is that one of the reasons why you're not seeing him play anymore? Maybe. But give him more. There's no reason for Alshon to be starting. There's no reason for him to be getting as many snaps as he is. I want to see Fulgham fail. At least give me more times of Fulgham failing so then I know. Because no one really knows if it was the 4-game stretch or not because you're limiting him in all these games now and taking all the snaps away. So let me see him fail. The alternative is Alshon, who's not getting the job done either. So it's not like you're missing out on a significant part of this offense because you want to try Fulgham more. Alshon's ass is gone. Gone, done after this. Same with Peters. There's no reason at all. None. None. But I can't stand hearing all this little behind-the-scenes stuff that is playing a role in the chaotic spot that you're in. Why does the quarterback seem confused about who's calling the plays? Who's calling the plays? I mean, the more and more I think about this, honestly, here I am trying to process the information. I'm closing my eyes. I'm taking some deep breaths. Carson Wentz was confused on who was calling the plays. Who does that fall on? There's messages not getting communicated properly to the most important people on the football team. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'll accept that. Hell no! No, I won't! I'm disgusted. I'm gutted. I really am. So, early on, like I said, I liked their motor. I liked their identity. Take the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands and keep it in your own. Run the football. Get Carson Wentz going. But what do you think happened after the first drive? Where it was pretty simple and easy. 7 rushes, 7 passes. And you move the ball, it resulted in a field goal. All right, so they got 3 points on the board. Pretty promising, to be fair. At that point in time, you're somewhat relieved that you had an identity and it looked like this team knew what they were going to do with the scheme. After that, you saw 0 carries for Miles Sanders in the first half. How? How do you do that? Did the play caller switch? Did they go to a different play caller at that time? How can you see something is beneficial and then not do it anymore? At one point, Miles Sanders had 5 carries. Jordan Howard had 4. This guy got picked up off the street and was on your practice squad. I feel he gives you a different style of running. Not I feel, I know he does. But I feel that's why they wanted to implement him. But you give your best back more carries. Finished with 10. Whoop-de-doo. Way more than that he needs. Even with Jalen Hurts in the game. It's crazy that they fail miserably when it comes to Miles Sanders. They don't even use him. They don't. Getting 10 carries in a football game with the skill level that Miles Sanders has, you're not even using him. And remember, he had 6 last game. You're not even using him. So this guy that you valued in the second round so highly, you're not even using him. That's the way I see it. And it should never have came to this. It should have never came to this. Let me tell you about my friends at DraftKings. DraftKings has brought their expertise to legal sports betting. It's a legitimate sports book based right here in the U.S. You can rest assured that your funds are totally secure. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit and withdrawal at your convenience. Listen to this new deal. It's outrageous. All new users have a chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Download the app now and sign up using promo code Brodes. Check out all that they have to offer, including player props, live betting, and so much more. If sportsbooks are not yet available in your state, don't forget about the DraftKings Fantasy app, which offers millions of dollars in total prizes every week. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So going back to Jalen Hurts, because there's no doubt about it, that is the storyline in this football game, is the fact that Carson Wentz was benched and their second-round draft pick came in and looked better. Now, it wasn't like he was fantastic by any means. 5 of 12. If you ask a lot of the Carson Wentz haters about completion percentage, they will absolutely point out numbers very similar to 5 of 12. Well, there were some drop passes. Guess what? Carson has had a lot of drop passes as well this season. Actually leads the league in that category. Jalen Hurts missed open passes. At one point, it was really bad throw to Alshon Jeffrey, sacked, almost intercepted over the middle. So there was a 3-play stretch where, boom, ugliness, really bad. So it wasn't as if Jalen Hurts walked into this offense and it was magic and it was awesome and everything flowed so perfectly, because he made the same errors that Carson Wentz was making. The difference, though, there were a couple of really solid plays thrown in there, too, and you really haven't gotten that out of Carson. Even Carson's good plays, one where he rolled to the right. He had Dallas Goedert open on the left side of the field. So he escapes, he goes to the right, actually rolled him out of the pocket. I couldn't believe it. I almost collapsed right there on the spot and almost missed the play happening. But he rolled to the right. He saw Dallas Goedert wide open, but it was a little bit underthrown, and that didn't allow him to go farther than he could have. People are claiming that was a no-brainer touchdown if Carson Wentz let him. He's a slow tight end. He could be caught. Now, for tight ends, yes, he's very versatile. He's athletic. He's a playmaker. He can run, but let's not act like because he can run as a tight end, that means that he's going to just take it to the house constantly. My point is, though, going back to what I wanted to get accomplished here by bringing that up, even when Carson Wentz does make a better play, that was a 47-yard gain or so, there's still a but involved, and it's not good enough. But it shows me that once again, you have a quarterback who can do something better than he can do another thing, yet you're still constantly putting him in that second scenario where he fails more. It could have been an 80-yard gain, but it was a 47-yard gain. Okay, well, guess what? It shows me that your 47-yard gain, that works. Getting him out of the pocket works. But they still fail to do that in the game plan. But it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter anymore because Jalen Hurts is your go-to guy. It should not even be a thought. It shouldn't even be a debate. You have one guy who sucks right now. A lot of it goes on him. A lot of it goes on reasons surrounding him. But flat out, results aren't there. This is a results business. Or is it? I can make the argument that if the reason why you're playing Alshon Jeffrey is because you're paying Alshon Jeffrey, and the reason that you're playing Jason Peters is because you paid Jason Peters, they're probably going to go with Carson Wentz. And I do feel that's what they're going to do because they don't want to make that statement right now and say, yeah, we're benching Carson Wentz. They want to do that. They want to salvage this thing. And I don't even care about it in terms of what happens this season. This season is what it is. I'm not, let's go win the division still. Jalen Hurts, take us to the playoffs. No. I don't give a damn. Plus, the Giants found a way to beat Seattle, so it makes it that much harder to do, which is wild. The New York Giants. Yeah, that's right. The New York football team. They're sitting in the first place spot in the NFC East. It's incredible that we are here. But Jalen Hurts is your best option. I feel the Eagles will go down the road of let's start Carson Wentz, and if things get ugly, if things look sloppy, if you have no rhythm, we'll go to Jalen Hurts like we did last week. I think that's going to be their message. Although Doug Pederson was asked about it, and I was expecting right from the jump, Carson Wentz is our quarterback. Carson Wentz will be our starter, but it wasn't that directive. It wasn't right there, boom, right in front of everybody. Oh, yeah, Carson is the guy. So that leaves the door open. That allows any possibility to be in play. I'm opening up to it. For sure. They did this. This is what they wanted. It's funny, Doug Pederson was asked about his thought during the time of the draft. Because the question was essentially, do you feel, Doug, that Carson Wentz is feeling it and is being affected because of Jalen Hurts being drafted where he was? And Doug gave you the answer of, I'm not in Carson Wentz's body. I'm not in his shoes. I don't know how he feels. Which is fine. Doug Pederson doesn't know how he feels about it. That's fine. Fine answer. But he said, it's hard to sit up here after a loss and think about how I felt in April. How do you all sit in a room and not ever think that that could possibly be something? The fact that that wasn't discussed prior shows that the Three Stooges really are the Three Stooges. And, Seth Joyner being old school saying this is healthy. You want a quarterback battle. There should be no feelings involved. And that's not how the quarterback position works. Sorry to break it to you, but you don't do this. And the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers and where he is in his career with Love is not the same scenario that just happened here in Philadelphia. So I hated Doug's answer on that side. As if, this is a loss, so I can't really think about my feelings in April. You should know that it clearly can affect the quarterback at the time where you say, at the time, we thought about Carson in that moment. Yes, we did think about Carson in that moment. Then there'll be a follow-up and whatever. You maneuver your way out of it or you answer however you may be. I can't really remember what I was like back then. That shows me that you didn't even think about it. You three morons didn't even think about it at the time. You did this to yourself. You created this. So I am accepting it. And this could be a flaw of mine, maybe, but I don't care. I'm accepting it because I want you to feel the pain that you caused. I want you to feel the media and feel the fan base and feel the pressure for making this happen. Now, one side of me is doing it just straight out of pettiness, and the other side saw a Jalen Hurts that deserves the chance at the same time. I'm acknowledging that his play was worthy of getting that chance. At the same time, though, sit in this. Eagles organization, sit in it. Because you did this. You're part of the problem as well. Not a lot of tape on Jalen Hurts. And still not a lot of tape on Jalen Hurts, to be fair. But as teams get film and as teams are able to study what Doug Pederson and this offense likes to do with Jalen Hurts, it could be a totally different ballgame. Right now, it's the hot new toy. It's the fresh new item. Well, these coaches are smart. These opposing teams, they do a lot of tape study, and they figure out rhythms, and they figure out what you do on a consistent basis with a specific guy. And once you get more tape on Jalen Hurts, it's going to be that much harder for the kid to go out there and dial it up. But one of the reasons why I've always put my hands up and said, look, at this point, I don't care what you do. If you want to go to Hurts, is because I feel when things break down, when you have that type of game, like Jalen Hurts does, using his legs, you'll find ways to get 5, to get 8, to get 9, to get 7, to get yards. Because if you're anxious, your first-time quarterback NFL action legitimately like the time he did where he was putting together drives, not just one stupid play and then getting off the field. If you look through a read or two, you don't see what you like, boom, your initial reaction is, I'm going to take off. Carson Wentz, he's not that mobile quarterback. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. I think Carson Wentz, well, at least at one point, he was willing to run and use his body, but it still never compares to that new era of Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts and this new phenomenon that we're in at the moment. He had the ability to escape some nonsense and get a chunk play or so based off of the nature of how his brain works when things do shut down and when plays are not able to be made. It's a wild position that we're in, but I'm almost intrigued by it. I want to see how it all shapes up. I have no dog in the fight. I don't care. I don't care who wins this battle. There was a time, and this is how I know I'm clearly getting insanely frustrated with Carson, because there was a time where I would really, and I mean really, really defend Carson Wentz against all the haters. He was never this bad, though. I'm talking in other seasons. He was never this bad where I felt it was warranted. Now it is, but the fact that I am so open, and I don't care if Carson Wentz loses the job, and I really don't care if the Eagles go in another organization internally, or go in another organization, go in another direction with the organization internally. That shows me everything I need to know about my feelings right now on Carson Wentz and his play, outside of all of the other major problems that I think are added into the equation of the struggles of Carson Wentz. So, yeah, it's pretty damn telling for me to be this open to the Jalen Hurts debacle. How about Aaron Rodgers, though? Can we give the guy some love? Jeez, 400 touchdowns, calm as hell in the pocket, eyes closed, blindfolded, doing whatever, nonstop. Guys open all over the place. Lazard torching Maddox with ease. How about Davante Adams ripping through Darius Slay? Back-to-back weeks now, Darius Slay gets worked. Can't hang with the top dogs. Jim Schwartz putting him in some tough spots, saying, hey, Darius, go make those plays. And I don't expect him to make all these plays against DK Metcalf and Davante Adams, but I do think it's very reasonable to expect more. He is constantly getting beat on a lot of 50-50 balls. There was the face mask involved in the touchdown run where he had this stiff arm. Davante Adams did the stiff arm, and he did have that 3rd-and-1 quick short pass breakup in the end zone, but he got beat on the other side on a 50-50 ball the very next play. Darius Slay, and I got crushed for saying this. Very good corner, not elite corner. But you brought him in here to be able to make more plays than he is making. I know he's big, bad, and tough in press conferences. It's on me. It's on me. He's big, bad, and tough to himself. He even tweeted out after the game, this isn't good enough. Well, at some point, dude, show up. Show up. Now, you're not in a bad position if you have Darius Slay on your team. I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion. But one of his strengths, supposedly, was he'll be able to match up with these number ones. He's having a tough time. Constantly shredded. It's not easy to stop these two. Not many people do. I expected it to at least be a little bit more competitive. That's all. A little bit more competitive. But Davante Adams, crazy. How about Aaron Jones? 77 yards, get out my way, running down the sideline, staying in bounds, cutting in. See, the defense, and I thought Michael Barkan was a little aggressive on the Eagles postgame show, ripping the defense. They're part of this. Their personnel blows. They lack pressure at times from that front that you really need to get pressure from. The linebacking core, not good, especially in coverage. Here's Tunyon wide open. That was a matchup I said to look out for. He got wide open. Play just got beat up. No clue what they were doing. So the defense, while things like that happen and the personnel is bad, they scored 30 points because they finished with that 77-yard touchdown, and they did have a 99-yard drive, which definitely sucked. But for a majority of this game, they had 23 points on the board, this Green Bay Packers team. And when Jalen Hurts was getting some sort of love from everyone and he was moving the football and we were excited and Rager had the punt return, the defense came up with huge stops, back-to-back. Boom! 3 and out, let's go, oh! Some big special teams plays, too, that brought the energy at the time. This was in the fourth quarter when you need it most. Now, after those 2 stops, that's when Aaron Jones shredded for a big touchdown, so everyone was all pissed off with the defense again. Your defense in back-to-back plays against this offense in the fourth quarter gave your team every chance to fight and compete. I can't blame this defense big picture at all. Couple moments I didn't love. But big picture, you let your team have a chance. You kept them in the dogfight. And they've been doing that constantly this season. And with the lack of execution, I think that's even better. That almost makes me praise Jim Schwartz even more. With the lack of execution and still this way, wow. But Avonte Maddox, he can't play outside. He made a nice play on Devontae Adams in the end zone. It almost looked like with the replay, though, Avonte Maddox got hurt on this play. Avonte didn't get as much of an impact as you thought on it, but he was right there. His hand was involved in the area of where the football was coming down. That was in the slots. Avonte Maddox can work in the slot, but this doesn't. This outside nonsense doesn't. So lack of pressure, outside corner being abysmal. You have a linebacking core that's abysmal in coverage. 23 points? Now, they scored 30. But late in the fourth, you had the 23 points being held. After you get a big touchdown from Hurts to Ward. Hell of a play by Ward as well, may I add. And also the punt return. I mean, I can't shred the defense. To me, the defense had some hiccups and they had some ugliness. But you got to remember, too, this offense is always putting them in these bad spots. It's hard when your offense goes 3-and-out, when your offense can't move the ball, where you're struggling so much. Well, it's hard for the defense. It snowballs. There's a domino. And let's add a little kicky boy to the mix. How about that missed extra point? I said from the jump this season, when you saw him off, this guy isn't it this season. This guy doesn't have it. And you're constantly seeing it occur week in and week out. I remember Howie Roseman put together a nice little package, a nice little contract, a nice little how do you do for Jake Elliott as well. Don't forget about that one. It's wild. It's wild. That's like the term of the day for me today. It's all just wild. It's so hard to comprehend. This is reality. 3-8-1, quarterback controversy. Carson Wentz blew his chance. And here's Jalen Hurts. Here's an open door. Here it is. Have it. Take it. I'm so intrigued, though. 400 touchdowns, as I mentioned, for Aaron Rodgers. Just peeking back here at the second part of the notes. Fulgham dropped late. LOL, I wrote down. It really is disappointing, though, because the lack of emotion that I have on Sundays, it sucks, and it shouldn't be this way. There used to be this feeling in the air on Sundays. You go to Dunkin' Donuts, you get your Wawa coffee on Sunday. Everyone's wearing their Eagles gear. You say, go Birds, right, when you open the door for them. Well, this year you got COVID and all, but you can still say, go Birds, throughout the masks. You had the great atmosphere on Sundays leading up the games. Now, you know it's going to be such poor play. You know it's going to be such a hard watch that it really does kill all the energy and all the fun that Eagles football is supposed to be. Now, I do think a lot plays a role into that. No fans, right? Big part of Sundays is knowing people are driving down to the stadium, the tailgates, everything involved, Xfinity Live. Like, there's a lot that you lose out on just from the experience and what we're experiencing as a world with the pandemic and not being able to go to the games. That is also factoring in this excitement for the team. But the play is number one. And you're getting bad play from a lot of areas. Did they just find a way to fix a major hole at the quarterback position? Which is fair. Do you know what else is fair? Manscaped. We all know that 2020 is a little nuts, but that doesn't mean you should disregard your nuts, no matter what size or shape they are. In fact, Manscaped is on a mission to take care of your manhood with their below-the-waist grooming and hygiene products. And great news, they just released their products in UK, Canada, and Australia. They just released their Crop Care Kit, which is the formulation bundle to give you an A+ on your balls and is the ultimate male hygiene hack. It includes the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. The name speaks for itself. Ball toner, body wash, ball wipes, foot deodorant, you name it. And the Lawnmower 3.0, which is their fantastic trimmer. And it offers a replaceable ceramic blade with advanced skin-safe technology. These formulations are all vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. You're probably playing with your balls right now, so you might as well invest in the Crop Care Kit to make your balls elite. All right, well, this week is definitely going to be interesting. The Anytime Hotline, 856-442-9805, is available 24/7. Call, react, let me hear it. I want to hear your thoughts. We'll play that on tomorrow's podcast and throughout the week as well. On top of 97.3 ESPN on the Sports Bash, we will play your voice on the radio. So do that. It's always fun reacting to your reactions because it's all over the place, but I think I know which way it's going to trend this week. But hey, you never know. We shall see, I guess. But I sense the direction it'll be headed. Whew! Get ready for this bumpy ride, because it ain't going anywhere anytime soon. I'm almost excited for it. I talked about how there's been a lack of excitement for this team. Maybe this is what I needed. Maybe this is exactly what I needed to feel some sort of way again. To have a different feeling in my stomach when watching the team play. I don't know. Only time will tell. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.